Welcome, everyone, to a very merry episode of the Delco Nerd Network Rewind Reviews, where we sit down to discuss some of our favorite film franchises of the past. On this series, we are, of course, talking about some of our favorite Christmas movies. We started out last week with none other than The Santa Claus. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. We had a good time talking about it. It's a wild movie. But now we're here to talk about The Year Without a Santa Claus. And joining me, as always, is Mr. Anthony the Gooch Ragucci.
I have a bit prepared for this one. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I should have prepared some more bits too.
I have a bit for Polar Express, but not for this one.
I love it. And then, of course, creator of our amazing table, Miss Emma McKelvey. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Yes,
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the pick. Thanks, everyone. This is great. Well, thank you for the pick because this is your choice.
Yes.
We're talking about The Year Without a Santa Claus, initially released on television, if you will.
First television movie for DNN.
Yep.
Let's go.
On December 10th, 1974. Also, I think the oldest thing that we've ever talked about.
Absolutely.
With a rating of TVG. And the directed by Julia Bass and Arthur Rankin Jr. Written by William J. Keenan and Phyllis McGinley. Description for you, of course, right off of IMDb. When a weary and discouraged Santa Claus considers skipping his Christmas Eve run for 1 year, Mrs. Claus, and his elves, and his elves set out to change his mind.
Yeah, that's good.
Sounds pretty spot on.
We've been pretty good with the IMDb descriptions.
I gotta say, yeah, it's fun.
We had I think there were a few. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, it was Harry Potter really that
Yeah.
was like, who wrote these? Because it's
you
like
watch?
a boy. Well, it's not even that. It's just incredibly vague, as vague as you get. A magical boy is picked up for a magical school and does wizarding things. It's like, oh, okay, thanks.
That
I mean,
could
that
be
covers it
really
technically.
good.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
But
done. Nailed it.
also, this might be the first claymation that we've talked about.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
We didn't get around to Pinocchio. We were talking about that earlier today. But yeah, this was fun, guys. I gotta say, I remembered this movie when we started watching it.
What?
You're
Like I was like, oh, that's what this is.
You didn't know this?
In and Out? No.
Yeah.
I feel like
You
I
didn't
remember
grow up
watching
with this?
do you think that if it was like Heat Miser?
Yeah,
you would've
so
been like,
that's what I
oh.
recognized immediately. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
because
this
that's
is
what
where
you
they're
said. You
from.
were like Heat Miser. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's where we're at. I love it. It was really nostalgic to bring to bring back to. I gotta say, I mean, just it's overall very well done, and obviously that Rankin and Bass, right, who did this, did a lot of this stuff. They did like the Pinocchio movies and things like that.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of claymation these days. It's a tough art form. We were talking about it earlier. The amount of stuff that you have to go through. So it really is a piece of art.
They did I feel like, since we don't have a ton of fun facts, but they did a lot of animation. Like their first Christmas movie was Rudolph. That's how they got started.
Right.
And they did the animated Hobbit, which is very well known.
They did the animated Hobbit? I didn't know that. Okay, I saw you mention the Hobbit in our chat. I just didn't.
What you got?
Did they do Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
Yes.
Okay, that's what
they
I
did
thought.
like a ton of
That's
them.
what because they all in
ton.
my brain those like the Rudolph one they all
They're so cohesively styled the same way too.
They're in the Rankin and Bass cinematic universe.
TV Mac, yeah. What is it? Cinematic?
That's
Christmas
my
universe.
The
Marvel.
RVCV or whatever.
Yeah, but like they didn't last too long. Like I think they went under in like 2000.
I mean, this was in 74 though. That's 24 years. That's pretty long.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
but
not
like,
in the grand scheme, sure.
Like, think about like how well known this one is, and like all of them. They are like we were talking about in the Santa Claus, like 25 Days of Christmas on ABC. Like these things were on fucking repeat.
Absolutely.
We
grew up with these.
made sure that we were home the night that this when it would come out like. I don't even know.
The schedule?
Did it come in the schedule. Yeah.
The TV
and
guide.
Like,
Yeah.
We grew. It's funny how we grew up.
The TV
with
guide.
it,
That's what, like it came in the mail, and I was like, okay, it is on, and then it started coming out like online or whatever, and we'd print it out and like highlight the ones that we wanted to watch, and it was always we used to like try and decorate our tree the night that this would be on.
Oh, that's awesome! Have it in the background and everything.
Yeah. And like get to
That's
sit
cool.
down and watch it, and then decorate the tree and stuff.
It would just for me, it would just be on like the entire holiday season. Like I'd be playing video games and like it would
It's
be
in the
like,
background. Yeah.
Or, like I just like constantly. And now it's like free. They still do it freeform.
Yeah.
ABC Family is now freeform.
They do.
And they still do it. But like I'm curious. Do like you know, and like this generation, like, are they growing up with the same things we did?
Can we find out?
What are you saying? Like, are they doing
look
more
at the free
like
25 Days of Christmas?
Like, if you Google
Freeform,
25 Days of Christmas, you could.
So Freeform doesn't exist. Oh
no, Freeform does.
What did it used to be?
It used to be ABC Family.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm like, did they change it again?
I can physically, like, in my brain, close my eyes. I see the ornaments, like the
yeah.
whole
It looks like
design.
it's still going on.
All right,
Yeah.
what's tonight?
But again, who has cable? Still, you know what I mean?
That's why I just said, like, you know, is this generation even growing up with this? Because the consumption of content is not the same.
Yeah. And
Well, sorry. No, please go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, The Year Without a Santa Claus was like it's my family. I think if you asked all 5 of us what our favorite Christmas movie, it would be this. Like, Andrew was the Heat Miser for Halloween one year.
That's
he had long
awesome.
hair. I wish I had a photo right now. It's so good.
I love it. No, yeah, it's funny. I'm trying to think of the movies that I think of when I think of like Christmas. The Grinch, I feel like we always used to watch when I was. That was
the
partly on
anime.
my well, actually, even just the new one, or like the Jim Carrey one.
Yeah.
But also the animated one.
Prefer one over the other.
I
And they're different.
I
They're
was
really
gonna say,
different.
They feel
I was
like
gonna
they're
say-
two
Not the
different
same
categories
thing,
for me.
yeah.
I couldn't choose.
I mean,
so
Jim
didn't know
Carrey
it.
just murders it.
Yeah.
Like, right. So it's tough to not love that one. But yeah,
Movies that remind you of Christmas, Charlie Brown.
That was right on my list too.
Another TV
It's
movie.
funny. Like, I remember watching
Very
this.
fucking
they-
depressing.
Like that.
Very depressing.
It's
Poor
very
Charlie
adult.
Brown.
It is.
Like themed. Like it is very depressing.
Yeah,
all
well,
those-
Charlie Brown in general. Like,
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
depressing. I'm trying to think. We used to always watch Christmas Vacation growing up. My brothers absolutely love that movie. We always
Yeah.
watch that. But yeah, like when it comes to animated stuff, I'd say The Grinch probably pops to mind.
So
first for
so
me.
you really weren't like too well versed on like the one where it's like the baby New Year is a Rankin and
Again,
Bass.
I
They're
have,
like,
like-
the Rankin
there's
Bass
tons
are
of them.
the Christmas movies that we would watch. Like,
They're
that
in
was
there.
it. And then my
You
mom
know what I
was
mean?
watching
like you
that.
see them and you're like,
Oh, I
yeah.
recognize
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like this. I was
Yeah,
like,
you'll
oh
know.
yeah, I do. But do I remember this very well? No. I remember the Heat Miser and
Miser.
Snow Miser.
So that I was going to ask you guys,
Like that-
when
that-
you
that-
think of them, do you say freeze or snow?
Snow. I guess I would have said Snow Miser. I
Yeah,
guess
Snow
maybe
Miser.
freeze. Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Is
But
it
like
snow?
people say, but it's...
I guess it makes sense.
I'm
They could be
like-
interchangeable.
I'm
Yeah.
Mr. Heat Blister.
His breakout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to go to you first because it's your pick, but I gotta admit,
No, you
the
did.
songs, catchy, quick, in and out.
Oh, for sure.
Like not annoying, especially as like a 28-year-old male watching this.
we are definitely not the target audience for this.
Not
but
anymore. No.
Yeah, how do you know? Like, that is like the main thing about this is that it is perfect. The length,
Yeah.
everything about it, all the scenes, everything is the perfect length of time. It's great for like, especially when we are like looking at the 25 Days of Christmas, and there's so much going on around Christmas time. One of my biggest problems with Christmas time.
Yeah, I feel
but
it this year.
it is 51 minutes. You sit down, you watch an hour with the commercials and stuff, but.
I think especially
you
for
have
children,
its
that's
time.
probably amazing too.
Yeah, you don't your attention span keeps you in. All the scenes of everything is the perfect amount of time. The only one thing I wrote down that I have no notes on here, it's a perfect movie. Some of the songs get a little like churchy, but other than that,
Oh, for sure. There's,
but
God
other than
is
that,
good,
yeah,
God
but
is
other than
great.
that,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just like it is all around
Which I guess,
perfect.
yeah. Christmas does start, I guess, from a religious
But
place.
I kept talking about goodwill.
Yeah,
and
good.
stuff
So
like
it's a
that.
lot of it's again the
As-
schmaltziness
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
As a
yeah.
kid growing up, I went to St. Pius. I was Catholic. I guess I still am.
Yeah,
It all kind of, it made sense.
Yeah,
so like I
no,
never
yeah.
questioned any sort
What
of.
about Thaddeus Thistlewhistle or whatever the fuck it is?
Ignatius.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What a name.
Yeah, that is this time watching. It was the first time I was like, when they're sitting around the table.
Are they in Britain?
Iggy,
They're
in the US.
What do you
Because
mean
he
are they in Britain?
He
They
has
tell
like
you
a
where they go.
the freaking
They're
were
in
they
Southtown, USA.
Well, hold on.
So the time period,
So did they jump though? Because the guy looked like a fucking Bobby at one point,
Yes,
like a British Bobby.
I did notice
that's
that.
what I was
Yeah,
confused
yeah.
about.
So
That's fair.
I didn't know if they were in England and then went to the
no,
South
to
Town or
your
whatever.
point in the Santa Claus, I'm like it's either 1950s or like early or like late 1800s. Like I'm like going by the cars and the dress. I'm like they
So
look
it says the
old.
late 1800s to like the 1930s. It says. At
Okay.
least that's what I saw.
Yeah, I'm
online.
like-
Oh, it does.
Are there
Oh.
cars in it? Oh,
I
yeah,
don't-
there would be cars in the 1930s. I'm like,
Yeah, but
there would be
in
cars
the
back then
actual, in the actual.
in the show.
Well, like even
or
the
in
Polar
thing.
Express, it was the same way. I'm like the Polar Express is definitely in the 1950s. Has to be.
No, I didn't think that at all. It looked like contemporary to me. At his house? I need to look at his house.
Attention.
What do you mean?
Look at the toys they're playing with.
I don't know. It looks just like Christmassy.
We're talking about the Polar Express now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So,
hold on.
Emma, tell us. Keep going. Why is this your favorite?
No, it's
what do you love about it?
Like I was saying, it's just very nostalgic to me as well.
Yeah.
It unlocks some memories.
Yeah. Just like all, and like I was going on, I don't know if it was while we were recording, I'm not like a huge Christmas person, but like this is the Christmas that I love, and I think all of the points in it are the Christmas that like I want to have and enjoy, of like the slow Christmas and enjoying, and the whole point of like Santa's sick and he doesn't think that people have this Christmas spirit anymore, and yada yada, and then
very
all the
relevant
people are writing
still.
Writing, all the kids are writing notes and sending him gifts and all this stuff, and it's just like that they're creating Christmas without the need to receive presents and it be over the top, and that like for it to be in 74 and having that theme, and it just has exacerbated in the point of like consumerism and doing so much and going over the top for everything and having all this go and Christmas starting at fucking Halloween. It drives me insane.
No, I agree. I'm like
I didn't hang my stuff up after Halloween. No, I didn't. I wait till Thanksgiving. Like
okay, so I am a December, like and even the beginning of December, I'm like, I want to enjoy the fall. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. By the time you get to Christmas, you're like so sick of the Christmas songs and all this stuff, and it's just like, I think the meaning,
Go off.
The meaning of like what you think Christmas should be is lost in all of the commercials and everyone just like
the business of Christmas.
The consumerism, and you can call me whatever names you want.
I completely
Sir
agree.
Lady Grinch.
I sadly think like even in general that's become a major problem with almost every holiday. But like Christmas just shines through so much. Yeah, like I mean, think of like Valentine's Day even too. It's
I'm the biggest hater of Valentine's Day. Like
it's just to do more things that you normally do.
Yeah,
like
you know, money.
Like that's what the whole. Yeah, I can go off on that too.
No,
We'll be here for literal hours, and you're like, Emma, shut the hell up.
Anyways, that covers our topic on Valentine's Day today. We're moving back on now. But I do think this movie this TV movie. It's a movie.
It's a movie. It just aired on TV.
It is incredibly nostalgic. It does bring back those times,
and it holds up.
Yeah.
Well, so
the animation
you know what
looks good.
You know what would really test the time for me? I'd love to show this to one of my nieces or nephews.
You should.
To see like what they like. I'm like, can this like genuinely?
Are your brothers,
can this hold your attention?
Showing, like I'm curious.
They'd probably showing them like Grinch and stuff like that. But like I don't know. Just for instance, I remember I showed Lilo and Stitch, like one of my favorites, and I'm like, I hope she likes this. And at first, she was kind of this was like years ago, and she was like, of course, this isn't nearly as old, but I was like, God, I hope she likes this. And she came out at the end, and she was like, this is the best. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
she was like crying by the end and stuff.
That's
like,
awesome.
See, I feel like as a kid, you would not be adverse to like old things.
I don't know these days, man.
But just with all the, I don't know if maybe like a few years ago or even like
kids
10
these
years
days,
ago,
man. No.
But I did
like
my cousin's kids. My favorite animated, one of them, Ratatouille, obviously, but A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
Because I think the animation in it is just insane.
Yeah.
And it's such a good movie in general. But I put on A Bug's Life for them, and they were bored.
Yeah,
and I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
They're like, we want to watch Frozen. And I was like, no, you don't. We watch
this is art, okay?
We are watching A Bug's Life. And I'm so into it. I was like, look at that. Look at the shadow on that leaf. And they're like, we're 6 and 3. Like, what do you want from us?
What's a shadow?
But like that's interesting to bring up, and like think about Toy Story 1. I don't know if you guys watched Toy Story 1 recently.
That's another.
It's aged badly. Its animation doesn't look good anymore, which is weird.
It looks of the time for sure.
Yeah, but like this holds up in a totally different way. Like
for sure.
the claymation styles, it's not popular.
It's stop motion,
right? And it's very like I mean I imagine the way they do claymation today is different, but I think the fundamentals and the base of it are still the same.
I think it's still very much the same idea for the most part. I mean, they were using strings and stuff at certain points too.
Like
when Snow
Miser
and stuff.
Yeah, and you can see. But what I was going to bring up earlier was that I was watching behind the scenes for Wes Anderson for his newest movie. Why can't I think of it right now?
Asteroid City.
Yeah. Is that animated?
There's one stop motion scene in it, right?
They use stop motion and they use Wes Anderson is notorious for using miniatures,
Yeah.
and instead of using like CGI and stuff,
For
he
sure.
wants to have the actual
Everything
practical
in
effect,
camera.
like everything to be real, and the way he sets everything up, and it just. I love that so much because, yes, sometimes you're like, oh, but that adds to the style of his films and whatever.
Exactly,
But
for sure.
we were talking about stop motion and how you're like, we were saying how long it takes and stuff. But I
It's
was
insane.
like, oh, today it's being used. Wes Anderson uses it, and not like not to the scale of having a whole entire 51 minutes of stop motion, but
Again, it's just so time intensive.
Doing the math is crazy.
I wish there was information on how long it took them to do.
Yeah,
this.
there just wasn't a ton, sadly.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, they're not documenting
And just
it like they were, like they do today.
the mouths, like just watching the mouths move, I just like, oh my god,
Frame by frame
look
by
at
frame,
how,
moving it up,
how
like
many
moving.
different, like obviously they're not getting every single curve of the
You
mouth
would love
when
that
you're speaking,
Pinocchio
but-
movie. You should really. I
Okay,
think
I'm
it's
excited. I have to
awesome.
watch
But
it.
the only thing that I think like doesn't look great is the hands. Like it's clear
Oh,
that
we
they're
were all
moving
laughing
them.
about
They
there's
have
only
four
three-
fingers,
yeah, 3 or 4.
and they're like gray. I'm like clearly because they're touching them and moving them
Yeah.
a bunch.
And they're
it's
point-
small
yeah.
I'm
piece.
assuming in animation, I know they do that just because it's easier to animate 3-4 fingers
Yeah,
instead
I mean,
of 5.
there's a ton
But
of
like
shows.
even though it makes sense, even like with that, it's like all right, take that off. We don't need the extra
Yeah,
finger.
just having those extra like moving them has to add
So it's just it adds up.
days onto the whole process of it. It's crazy, but
There was a
it's really
YouTube
impressive.
channel back when I was younger that was like it was all claymation. And it was like blue blob guys, and they would do like skits. Do you guys remember this at all?
I mean, I watched stuff like that as a
very
kid.
It was like a
vaguely-
channel though, and they would do like it was like I felt like it was a specific thing. I don't know, but I agree. It's just something you just don't see often, and I think that does
Yeah.
lead to it holding up even more.
Even now that you said that, like even Marcel the Shell.
Right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to,
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about Marcel Shell. I want
Oscar
to check
award
that
winning.
out.
But I'm not. Just even the YouTube like. You saying because I'm like having weird. I'm gonna wake up in the
I'm
middle
trying
of
to
the night,
remember. I'm like,
being
what
oh
is
my
it?
God, Trio.
I think it's like
But-
literally called just claymation or something like that. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what really leads to hold up. And again, I'm of the mind of use certain things where you need to use certain things. You know, like I know a lot. Some people may find it boring, but the Dune movie that they did like in the last 2 years, that like exemplifies like using practical and special effects
Yeah.
in harmony, because truly like they build out the set and then the extension's all fucking CG, but they actually spend 3 or 4 months on one shot and don't change it at the fucking end and make these
Yeah.
poor fucking people rework it in a month. So yeah, I think that really does lead to it just being overall holding up. But
Yeah, just
to
the
get
art form of it is just mind blowing.
It really is.
Fucking impressive.
But to bring it back to the kids, yeah, I'd be curious what my nephew thought
Yeah,
of this.
sorry.
No, not at all. I love this is how tangent. This is how it goes.
I feel like
kids.
No, it's like I just would love to show it to them and be like, "Do you like this? Is this fun? Like I don't know.
What are
Like
your
what are your thoughts? Like this is pretty cool."
We kind of hope so, but I it's funny. I like this movie. I found like this much more charming than I thought I was going to. Like I was just like, is it like lost its edge? But like it really hasn't.
Holds up. Poor
It's
Santa.
very simple. The dialogue is really good. The voice acting is really good.
the
like,
voices. The first thing I write down is
This is
that
74.
Mrs.
Mrs. Claus is the best.
The voices
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah.
I love the inflection of everything. It's very like the writing is very poetic. Like things rhyme.
Yeah,
Everything
a lot of that.
flows really nicely. It's just
It feels like a Christmas story.
And
It feels like a bedtime Christmas story
and-
almost
yes,
to a degree.
Exactly. And everything is like warm. Like just feels like I don't know if that's the nostalgia coming in. Like feels like a warm hug. Like you look at the rosy cheeks on Santa, or like the blue eye. Like everything, the colors that they chose for everything is just like
The set design's great. It's very
Everything- yeah,
intricate
everything-
too if you look at the
yeah.
backgrounds and
Like-
stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like Mother Nature having a bird's nest on her head. Like I want to be her. Like she's an icon. I
You
want to be
know, it's
her.
funny that
Icon.
like watching this and like the Heat or the Miser brothers, and it's just like, oh, they're stepbrothers. I'm like, who are the dads?
I didn't realize they were stepbrothers either.
Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
knew they were brothers. I didn't know
Yeah.
they were stepbrothers.
And that's
they're-
why
is
they
it
have so much
Santa? They
They kind of
animosity.
remind me of like a gay couple. Like
Why is
they're,
that?
I don't know.
Oh, what like
So
the,
they're- I mean,
like
they're
the
very-
fighting gay?
So yeah,
they're
That's
very like
actually funny,
flamboyant.
yeah.
So
Like,
also bringing up, thinking of it right now, that when there's a duo, a male duo, it's always a tall, lanky one. It's and there's a short, stubby one. Why?
That is
Like
funny.
my
that,
weird-
that just,
That's just
that
very
backs
true.
up my
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
because
and-
they're just like
yeah,
different
where
looks.
I said it for this. I said it out loud when I was watching them. It's in the Santa Claus as well. I forget what part of it though. And then in the Polar Express, the coal guys, shoveling the coal. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
No, it's in The Year Without a Santa Claus as well. The two elves, Jingle and Jangle.
Yeah, one's little fat, stumpy.
One's
Yeah, one's
short
tall,
and stumpy.
lanky.
It's always like the funny little like
And I mean that's also like character silhouettes need to stand out.
Oh yeah.
They can't like think about like
you
in
said that
video
way
games
more eloquently than
too.
me.
Like characters need to look. If you just had their silhouette like Master Chief or something, like maybe that's not a good look. Mario, you might be able to tell Mario's silhouette
literally just from the shadow.
Yeah, or like Sonic. Like characters have this like identifying like shape. Like it's just fundamental and as simple as that.
That's so true.
And I said it. Every time we do rewind reviews, I usually like. While I'm watching the movie, I make like jokes like about something. I think I only did that once here, but I was like, dude, Santa's like civvy's drip looks awesome.
Yeah, he does. He's got some swag.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah. And then I love how he's just flying away on his reindeer in front of everyone.
But I'm like, he's killing this reindeer. And same with Jingle and Jangle. I'm like, they shouldn't be riding that thing.
It's Vixen's magical. They can do it.
And Vixen's like dying.
I love that. That's another thing where they're like,
Summertown?
It's Southtown, USA.
Southtown.
They're like, Vixen doesn't like the hot weather. It's like, well, what do you do when you fly around the Earth every year? What's that? Well, again, my logical brain that doesn't make
the same.
Obviously.
And they're up in the sky.
Yeah. That's
think.
That's true.
Think,
that's true. Imagine that. I didn't even think about during the Santa Claus. It's such a terrible. I mean, it's nice, but like, imagine just doing that every year. Like 4 billion people.
It is funny.
Maybe if you're lucky.
Charlie says something about this time continuum because it doesn't make any sense when Neil's coming in with his logic and.
I
actually can't wait to talk about the time stuff in Polar Express, but the little sizzle.
Of course you can't.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay, good. I did want to say that I do. Oh God, what was I going to say? Oh my God, I totally forgot. I had it on the tip of my tongue.
It's okay. Tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips.
Oh my God, it's totally gone. What was
it? It's okay.
Go. Someone talk.
We were talking about, what were we talking about? Time.
Time.
Father time.
It was the
we were
misers.
talking about the outfits.
Yeah.
Santa swag.
Well, I was going to say.
Okay. God, we got the movie. So like the whole premise of the movie is nobody likes Santa, and Santa just like, fuck this, I'm staying in bed.
Well, it's partly that. It's like part of it is he's like, I feel like shit, and everyone doesn't like me that much.
Really hard,
it's
and
funny.
He's not getting
it is funny.
Yeah.
So he's like, fuck all these
cares.
kids.
I'm just gonna stay in bed.
And I love how he tells everyone, and then they get it to the paper somehow. Yeah, they're like, oh look, we heard Santa's canceled it for this year. What's the big deal, huh? We don't even believe in him anymore.
Extra, read all about it.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, little eggy. He's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine.
There's always that. I mean, I don't know if it's every Christmas movie, but like the believing thing. It's like obviously the Polar Express, the whole fucking movie is about that. But in this, it's like he's like, I don't know, like I'm fucking 12.
I'm a 12. Yeah, and then the dad's like, well, I believed in him after he creepily stood over my bed one night.
Yeah,
and said
it's
good
this
night
guy
to
right
me.
here. And I love how he walks out of the house, and I think they tell him where Jingle and Jangle were going, and he's like,
again, he
leaves and he gets on the reindeer, hops off, and they're like, wow, that was weird.
I love the
must be Santa Claus.
The kid's like, Klaus.
He's
that
like,
was pretty good.
Of course.
And then that must have been a reindeer. It was pretty funny. I'll give it to him. I'm trying to think. Anything else?
There's some funny little things like that made me think of when they're pretending that Vixen's a dog, but like on the hat it says dog catcher. Yeah, and it's just like little, like very basic, just descriptive things, just like dog catcher. Like what? Or going to the mayor. Like, oh, when I have a problem, the first thing I do is take it up with the mayor and go visit him.
Yeah, I know. That was funny too. Even to get him, they're like, go to the mayor, and the dad's like, all right, son, you also go to the mayor because that'll do it. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Wow, I almost forgot. I'm forgetting again. Why am I forgetting so much on this podcast? Shit.
That's why I write things down because my brain shuts off.
I think we're just like all.
We're kind of bouncing all over.
Around so much because I'm so excited.
Dude, I don't even remember. This is horrible. I never do this either.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah, no. There's something I wanted to bring up, and it was about the plot.
Creating your own Christmas.
Oh, you mentioned it before. The movie moves at like a nice clip.
Yeah.
It doesn't
doesn't overstay its welcome.
Right, nothing overstays.
Polar Express.
Oh wow, okay.
And that's only a crisp hour 40.
That's an hour 40, and the Santa Claus is like an hour 20.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dude,
the Santa Claus is hour 47.
Oh really? I thought it was only an hour
I wrote
and a
it
half.
all down.
God,
also,
do I miss these short movies?
I would love to discuss the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Oh, did you? Oh, fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Oh wait, did you?
No, it's just gonna be part. I mean. Again, we'll talk about it when we get to the.
I do, but like I just remembered that we didn't like do our little review, the Luke Kenny review.
Oh yeah, I was kind of thinking for these.
These are like. This movie's obviously like a flick.
That's why I wasn't even gonna do it on these ones. To be honest,
I was gonna say maybe we should save it for the end, and we gotta explain that to you.
Okay.
You have no idea. Well,
yeah, I'm very.
Do you want to do it at the very end?
Sure. What are we gonna do it for?
No,
Santa
like
Claus
at the
too?
end of the Polar Express.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it then. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
that's what I was
we give our
thinking.
own
Well,
rankings.
I'll
We
explain.
have a patented ranking system.
I'll explain it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Incredible.
We'll get to
Delaware
it.
County's own Luke Kenny patented
Yeah,
review
came
system.
up with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, guys. Anything else?
But
I don't
yeah,
want
I mean,
breeze
it
by
is short.
anything.
I was
It
gonna
is.
say, I'm like this, like we've done 20-minute reviews, but like this, it is. There's not much to this. This is the most, in a positive way, childish movie we
100%.
have. Like, there's not much.
It's a
depth.
TVG.
It's like
It's fine. Yeah.
But that also has its charms and has perks to
there's
it.
good little like it's not just one story. There's the little side stories and things going on
Working
aside
together.
from
Yeah,
just-
there's an A
it
and a
all
B
comes
plot.
together.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah, and I think that's great. What did I write down? I could go on all day. There like the camera work, so there's some panning and stuff like that I thought was really cool. The little snow and heat miser guys when they're doing their
they're
my favorite things in the
minions.
whole entire world. I
Yeah.
love them so much. They're
Again,
great.
a lot of
Like,
time and care
iconic.
obviously
Yeah.
put into it. Yeah, for
like,
sure.
When you think of Christmas, like I imagine like top 10 things, somebody's probably gonna bring up Heat Miser, Snow Miser, or
Easy.
a
Yeah.
Dinner Without a Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I just thought it was funny that they used the term galoshes. Do you guys know what galoshes are?
Yeah,
No, I don't.
You know
I've
why
heard
I
the
know?
term from
Because
before.
when we were kids in the workbooks, they had that term,
Oh,
galoshes.
really?
Yeah, at least in the.
just like I don't know my mom. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
I
a
remember
galosh?
seeing that. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is a galosh?
They're just like rain boots.
Yeah, it's an old term for rain boots. Yeah,
Rain boots. Get your galoshes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
That
funny.
does sound like something my grandma would say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, remember your galoshes?
And I love the little blue Christmas. That little girl. I was obsessed
yeah.
with her drawings. I wanted to be able to like draw like her. But
I mean,
that's
she's
really
like
all.
she's like the I feel
like
like
her
the whole
big ass bow.
She's like
Yeah.
the whole point of the movie. I feel.
Oh no, yeah, she is. It's
She's like the catalyst that Santa's like fuck.
yeah. And
What am I doing?
What have I done? Yeah.
yeah,
I've ruined Christmas. And then he's like, get the sleigh, get my boots.
yeah.
Actually, finish
But-
building the toys.
And as we were talking about how the length of it, like watching it now, everything I get maybe because I loved it so much, it seems so much longer.
Right.
And then when you watch it now, like every year as an adult, you're like, oh, it is really short, which I appreciate. And like I said,
You
I think
remember
it's
it
perfect
almost
time.
longer.
But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just think like
Yeah,
every single scene
yeah.
is just so long, and like you think that the heat miser and the snow miser are in it for the whole
A lot
entire
longer,
thing. Yeah.
5
Yeah.
minutes,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, and it's just
It's nothing.
It's
I
just
feel
perfect.
it happens.
Yeah,
I feel like
Mother
there's so
Dear.
many movies like that for me too. And like I
Oh,
go back
yeah.
and watch them, I'm like, wait, this didn't
there's
happen at all,
yeah,
or
there's
like
just-
this happened a completely different
Yeah.
way than I thought.
Well,
yeah, parts that stick
and
out
I
to you,
yeah.
and they're just like
and I just think that's kind of like people kind of taking the characters and bringing them to the a phenomenon.
yeah,
Really,
No,
because
that's
they
perfect,
are.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, it's a weird thing. I know Santa's
No,
kind of that,
for
but,
sure.
like, the Heat Miser and Snow Miser, like
The character of Santa.
they're like they're like very minor
Least of
characters
the
in
actual
this.
Santa.
Yes. Oh, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, and it is funny to think about that they are such
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
minor characters, but they are such big Christmas things.
Yeah, I
They,
wasn't
they,
going
hold,
in-
they hold so much weight.
people
to,
buy
like,
a lot of shit with them on them, right? You
Yeah,
know?
I definitely wasn't expecting to follow the elves as much as I didn't remember that they
Yeah,
were such a
they're,
key
like, the
plot element
main-
to the,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and the elves are very like stereotypical elves. North Pole is just like a house with like a
jangle.
stable and like that's
You
it.
know
I
where
love-
they
that's the
definitely,
best
by
North
the way,
Pole.
Classic North Pole.
Yeah.
you
right.
know what stole direct inspiration from this? Watching this, it's Elf.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
of course.
I didn't know. Like
Of
that's
course.
obviously
And
like what
when he
they're
goes-
trying to
when
do.
he
Like
goes-
I was
when
like,
he
oh,
leaves-
okay.
down to the
Yeah, like
style
the
of
heads.
hats
Yeah,
and
okay.
stuff.
And when they
that's
leave,
for sure.
the-
I'm
the
good, yeah.
claymation
That
animals.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I love that.
Where are you going, buddy? Yeah.
Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just think it's so funny that that Santa Claus to take a nap, he sits down and he sits in his rocking chair and just like puts the little
like over his
knitted
knees.
blanket, just like it's not even unfolded fully. It has a literal fold in it, and he's just like just on a hard ass rocking chair.
He's like, this is the most comfortable thing I sit in all year.
He put Vixen in bed, and he's like, there, child, rest up, and he's like, good night. He just lays in a
Poor
rock.
Vixen.
Looks so peaceful.
And also, he makes so many different noises the whole entire time. He's always
sneeze.
Yeah, but
Great voice acting for sure. I know we mentioned it
Mickey
before,
Rooney
but
is Santa.
that is wild.
Yeah, I found
I was like, whoa.
There's also
I watched them
who
last
is it?
night. I watched them all last night, like Sunday to yesterday, because I want it to be fresh.
Yeah, especially when we were doing all three in one sitting. It's like sometimes like
well, it gets tough.
There's a lot of
blend too.
Yeah,
So that's why we tend to not
with
usually
like Harry
record them all
Potter.
once.
I'm like,
we can't do it.
that.
No, we couldn't.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, the movies are just going
because
to
we were like, wait, this happened in the fourth or the third? What are we talking about?
Sorry for the behind the scenes review,
No,
guys.
it's all right. Oh,
We're all
I mean,
wearing
come
the
on.
same
I
clothes.
was
You're
going to
taking
say
away the
they know.
magic of
Yeah.
it.
The
God damn it.
podcast.
The Christmas
God damn it,
magic.
Gooch.
We can move on to. I have a couple fun facts here off of IMDb, but I couldn't find a ton, unfortunately.
Yeah, give
on
us
this
what
one.
you got, Trio.
So this was Shirley Booth's last acting role. She was apparently a very famous Hollywood actress. She won multiple like Oscars and things like that.
Yeah, that seems like very typical of the time. Like, just bigger actors like getting these small like voiceover. This was probably not called voiceover back then.
No, I think it was.
You think?
I think yeah, because I mean they still
because was like Looney
well, so
Tunes,
because there was like
Looney Tunes and
radio
stuff out?
shows, which isn't like a voiceover. You're just acting on the thing.
Right.
But I guess it's like
Yeah, it was different.
Whereas like but again, I guess like maybe it wasn't literally called that, but someone played Superman on those old serials on the radio and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what
Like,
I mean? And
what about all the Disney like Cinderella and Sleeping
those,
Beauty? and
those
stuff
are
like
100%.
that,
I'm
like-
curious, like,
But I just don't
like
that's what I'm
voice
saying,
acting.
who
You're right.
Who was doing them? Were they like A-list stars, or
I don't think they were, actually.
Were they just random?
I would actually claim that they probably were.
I don't think they were, man. I'm just gonna look up Snow White for
we wouldn't
instance.
know.
That's
No, you're right, that's true.
Snow White is the first Disney film, yes. Yeah, I would imagine they are getting A-list stars to do it, and why would we know? Because we're so far removed from it.
Yeah, why
but
would you
I
know?
guarantee,
Yeah.
like my mom, if she was alive, would probably actually know
Wow,
that.
I did not realize how old that movie was.
40. It's
Snow White,
43.
yeah.
37.
Yeah, it's old.
I don't know what. God, that looks good still. I'm like,
Yeah.
actually,
It's
what? Like,
crazy.
Because it's
I would have
hand-done.
guessed.
Look at that anima-
That is wild. I would have guessed that's the 80s.
That's
honestly.
what
Like,
animation
what?
blows my mind.
yeah, and it sucks because you see, I would have. I don't know why. I don't have a good basis for my Disney movies, especially. But like, did you see
Yeah.
like the not to go on another tangent, but that Wish movie? Did you see it?
No.
I did not see it.
Just the animations, like they were trying to do something
Did you
that was
see
like
it?
no, I just seen a bunch of
Right, the
trailers for
trailers.
it, and it's like they were trying to do like inspired by animation, like the old Snow White style, but it was 3D, and I was like, this just looks
You're
unfinished.
not capturing the magic.
Well, no, it just looked like unfinished like character models. Like
Yeah.
it looked
Yeah.
very weird. I don't know how to
yeah.
describe it, but I mean, there's some crazy animation stuff out there still. That it's a crazy art form. I mean, you've seen the Spider-Verse movies at all? There's
Into the Spider-Verse.
they're so cool, and
That's I love that movie.
it's a very open field. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But then there's a thing like there's I don't know. You go too far into it. Like there's just something. So I don't know if it's just because I'm like I like old things and the time that it takes and all of the. I mean, obviously there's so much effort that goes into animate like any of that type of art, but just like the simplicity, but also all the intricacies that go into those first types of animations. I don't know.
Of course, and I mean,
Yeah.
not to downplay
like-
any CGI
Exactly,
animators
that's
out there
what
and
I
say,
mean, like-
but it is much like comparatively, like you're not doing like your slides, and you're not literally just. It is wild to think animation was literally just like, all right, we're just drawing it.
Yeah, like
it
just
was
think about even
claymation,
a
but with
flip
drawing.
book.
Yeah,
just,
like literally,
Even
it's
think about a flip book, like.
fucking wild. And there's not many, especially back in this time. I mean, they had copier. I guess you had like
people
light
who would
boards and stuff,
copy,
copy
yeah.
and everything.
Well,
Like,
yeah, you had the carbon copies of stuff like
man,
light boards
working in
and
like
carbon.
an animation office in the 30s probably was wild.
What's the
like I
movie?
feel like that would be
Like,
you
I would be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Tom
yeah.
Hanks is in it. They did a movie about Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah, it was the yeah.
That's probably a good
I
movie
remember
to get
seeing
all
that.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
context for this because they were doing Mary Poppins is animated
Yep,
stuff
yep,
in
yep.
it.
About that.
Yeah.
Wild stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on the fashion and architecture of Southtown, the short most likely takes place between 1890 and 1915. 15.
Cool.
15.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling by like, I'm like the clothes. I'm like there.
Yeah.
Like the women especially. Like I was just
Definitely.
like, yeah, this looks like 1800s.
During the Snow Right Here in Dixie song, a Charlie Chaplin figurine
I saw him.
appears in
You know
Southtown.
why I saw him? Because I thought he looked like Hitler. Yeah, I'm like, it's I'm
Damn
like,
you, Hitler.
You know what's funny? I was
like, huh?
I was
he's
googling
really
around.
good.
And I'm like, I was looking at Letterboxd reviews, and somebody was like, "Did you guys see the Charlie Chaplin?" I'm like, that okay. I'm like, that makes sense, but I'm like, he had the Hitler stash too.
No,
He had
makes
it
sense.
first.
Well,
Yeah,
I was gonna say he had the
before?
Charlie
Yeah,
Chaplin stash.
yeah.
True.
Actually,
Hitler stole it.
do you know why that? I feel like I might have said this on. Do you
Gas
know why?
mask?
Yeah, it was a gas
World
mask.
War II
yeah.
or one. Yeah.
All right, thanks for stealing my thunder. No,
I was gonna let you say.
I know.
World
thank
War
you.
I fun
If you know
facts.
what it is, just say no, Trio. What's going on? Let's see. We got 9 more here, actually. So the appearance of. I thought I only had 5, but I could expand it. I didn't realize. The appearance of Snow Miser and Heat Miser were based on based on their voice actors, Dick Shawn and George S. Irving.
Okay.
So they just styled them.
I think they styled them after them. Yeah, I did kind of look at it. The one man looks much fatter.
They were nice.
This is the second Rankin and Bass Christmas special where Mickey Rooney voiced Santa Claus. The first was Santa Claus is Coming to Town in
that's another
1970.
good
See,
one.
there we
That's
go.
my runner-up
It's
of-
the same Santa.
Yeah.
Duh. Cinematic universe.
I said this is my Marvel.
And as of 2022, this special now airs on TBS and TNT. So if you're ever trying to catch it out there, go for it.
Oh, did we ever find out if it was on the Freeform 25 Days of Christmas?
Oh, so I didn't see it pop up.
So
I
give
was
us
looking for
examples
today.
of-
So today on Tuesday, December 12th, Life Size 2, A Christmas Eve.
I remember Life Size.
too?
Family
Life
Guy,
Size is
Home Alone 2, a Disney's A Christmas Carol.
Oh, that's
How the
actually
Grinch
a
Stole
really good
Christmas. Oh man, we're missing that right now.
Wait, what was it?
Grinch Stole Christmas.
one. The original or
No, the movie.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, Godmothered. And the Mistletones. Why does that sound
That
familiar
is-
to me?
What?
See, that is a much maybe.
Is that-
I saw someone post the other day also. It was like, oh, which one's the best? Only the goats. And it was like Home Alone 1, 2, and 3. What even is
Which
3?
one's Trump in
Home
two?
Alone 3. Yeah, he's in the second one when he goes
Yeah.
to the tower.
Yeah. It's such a funny thing.
They like cut that out of the.
Oh,
but-
come on! Stop changing shit. It's funny.
And then so Dr. Seuss is the. Oh wait,
Oh.
did you? The animated one was actually good. The new one
The
that
new
they
one?
did. I watched it with my
yeah,
nephew.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
with Benedict Cumberbatch. It was pretty funny.
It reminds me, he just looks like the Lorax. I know it's
And
like
it
the
is-
same.
Well, yeah, it's
No.
Dr.
Like
Seuss.
it makes sense, but it's just like I can't get past
No,
it.
that's fair. I
Like the
understand.
Lorax, the actual animated movie.
No, 'cause
Yeah.
I will say
Okay.
actually, even you're saying that now, he really
Like-
does. And I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
they could be like, they're both in Whoville or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, that's funny. 12 Dates of Christmas. The Santa Claus is playing on Thursday.
Oh,
if you want to
okay.
check it, catch up with us. All 3 of them, in fact.
Wow.
And then
to
what?
back.
know the third
There's
one.
apparently a Kung Fu Panda holiday special.
I mean, there's
Coming
Shrek
up.
holiday specials. I
No,
remember.
makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, in
What
that
show didn't have a holiday special?
Kung Fu Panda is the all-time
I
greatest
just
animated
found-
trilogy as well. So
Kung Fu is
it's some of my favorite
That
films
may be
ever.
a hot take.
Yeah.
No, that's
Amazing. All 3
really
of them.
great.
Yeah, I don't care what anyone says.
Never mind. We won't get into it because then I'll ask you about Shrek and what your favorite Shrek
No,
is.
it's
and
okay.
Everyone says Shrek too, but it's obviously the first Shrek.
It's okay. It's all right. We'll tell the haters to shut up.
I never thought about it. Yeah.
I actually,
Yeah, it's like,
what's
we'll come
messed
back
up?
and-
I'd
Yeah,
probably
we'll
say
come-
2, but I
I
know
know,
I'm
but
wrong.
everyone says
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
No, I'm probably wrong, but I just.
Oh God.
I
Yeah. All right.
digress.
Before we get into Shrek 2 talk,
Yeah.
I think that does it here, Gooch.
You'll never have me on
You got through
again.
the fun facts?
Yes, those are all the fun facts.
Oh,
Okay.
but that's not a fun fact. It's
Yeah.
like when I looked up how much
Oh, yes.
content
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
get from each day of filming.
Yeah.
And they say a few seconds. They don't. And this isn't for specifically.
But just on
figured out
average,
just
right,
like
yeah.
claymation or stop motion or whatever. It's just a few seconds per day.
Yeah.
So
Like a
this is
film of
51
actual film
minute-
time.
Yeah. So even if you say 5 seconds, which is on the higher end of a few seconds a day, it would be like over 600 for 51 minutes, over 600 days. So
And it makes
it's
sense
like
why it'd be short. I mean, I assume even at that time things were just shorter.
Yeah,
like you had
aside
half-hour
from
spots or-
the length of time it takes to make it, but there's no filler in this in this movie.
No.
None.
I do like, we mentioned it, I think, off camera, but like when well, no, actually, I may have mentioned it, the commercial cuts.
Yeah, the commercial cuts are funny. You know
it's
exactly when they fade in and fade out. It is funny.
Yeah. Wait, are you crunching numbers over there?
I'm looking up how much, how long it took to film Pinocchio, just as a reference.
Oh yeah.
And it was
like the Disney one?
No, the new one with like it said 940 days, 2.5 years to make that movie.
Oh my god!
And that's what I was trying to figure out how long it is.
I think I would need like a full explanation.
It's 17 minutes.
Okay.
So that's 940 days it took to film that. To do all the claymation and everything.
That is a lot of patience.
A lot of moving and patience. And again, when they put out that behind, and Kubo and the Two Strings, that's another great. You mentioned that earlier. That's really good.
I think Frank and Norman.
Frank and Weenie.
Paranorman.
And Frank and Weenie, I think.
Yeah, they're claymations. Frank and Weenie is a Tim Burton one.
Yeah.
Paranorman is the people who do Kubo and the Two Strings.
When it's done well, it's one of the coolest things you can do. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact for you. Jules Bass is from Philadelphia.
Right. You said, I remember that.
Yeah, Rankin and Bass. But yeah, so
I didn't know that.
I was Googling around Wiki or Wikipedia about this. It seems like what happened to them is they kind of just like fell off after a while, and all the rights to all their shit scattered to the wind. Paramount gets this, WB gets this, and NBC gets this, and this is in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I mean that's happening right now with fucking WB with all their shit.
I mean,
all
these. Well,
they're giving their streaming services. They're streaming to like Netflix and stuff. Like the biggest one is they just took the Watchmen show off Max. And it's not you can't watch it right now.
And that's not the first. So this is happening with a bunch like they used to do this all the time. You license out things to different companies. You'd see certain movies on Netflix and then you'd be there for a certain amount of time. That kind of really stopped in 2020 with all the streaming wars. Like everyone wanted their own streaming service to make you come here. So WB was like, I'm not putting the Batman anywhere.
Yeah.
Give me the money. But now it's starting to go back to that where they're like, okay, we need money. Let's start licensing things out to other people. And like things like if you keep stuff on your streaming service, I guess you need to perpetually pay those rights. And so in order to not pay them in the meantime, they just take them down off the service. So that's why I'm telling you, I keep saying this, buy physical things. If you want something, buy the movie. If you want the show, buy the thing.
Especially this.
Something like this, especially.
Year Without a Santa Claus. Yeah. You can get this on DVD. I know my sister has.
No, yeah, you can.
And like the Charlie Brown and stuff. Because like they're like once a year things. And what's funny is I was surprised how accessible this movie was. It's on a lot of streamers.
It did surprise me a bit too.
I watched it on Prime.
Yeah, I rented it. Well, it wasn't free on Prime for me.
No, it wasn't free.
Yeah.
No.
It was $2.99.
The Santa Claus was free, and the Polar Express.
I'm telling you though,
was not.
It was on Max. I had to rent it.
Come on.
Yeah, it's gonna be
just have a collection of random people's services. That's
But like I'm just telling everyone, it's gonna be a shit show out there in a couple, especially these next couple years. If you want something, buy it and have it in your hand. That's because then they can never take it away. They can never take it off your streaming services.
We have a ton of old movies that we have like DVDs and VHSs that we kept. But Jack collects he tries to get like all the Oscar winners, and then we just ones that we like.
Exactly.
And
with
Criterion. I don't know if you guys are into
Oh, for sure. I need to.
But,
I would love to look into that more.
Kojima has a Criterion video.
Yeah.
But
I will never forget Matt. No, it's not Mads Mikkelsen. He's like, I'm gonna be a happy little boy and go home with my thing or whatever.
Michael Shannon.
That's right.
Yeah,
and he just looks so
he's like,
annoyed.
I'm a good boy.
I'm like a little good boy with all my gifts.
I think when I was over Jack's last time, we watched that one. I was like, it's literally like he does. Have you watched like that clip?
No, not the whole thing.
It's like he does it like almost seriously. Like I don't understand the context.
No, absolutely.
Of it. Like, it sounds like he's joking, but like he's
so funny about it. Yeah.
He's like, I was a good little boy. I'm
gonna go home with all my gifts or something.
It's
so wild. Michael Shannon's a great actor though.
I heard same thing with A24. I heard A24 is doing something. They partnered with
So I think HBO Max. So all their stuff is coming up on there.
It goes. It's in theaters for like a short amount of time, and then goes straight to.
And just training everyone to wait 2 weeks, and it goes to the streaming services.
But I love going to.
I understand.
Not all the time.
Love going to what?
Seeing every movie, but like there's something about going to see a movie in the theater.
Absolutely.
Jack goes to the movies by himself all the time. He was at the movies last night.
I used to go a lot, especially when I
worked
alone.
You saw Godzilla. We were texting about it.
Last movie I saw alone, I think, was Godzilla versus Kong. When like movie theaters just opened, and I just wanted to go out.
Yeah, you're like,
and I was
get
like,
me.
I can actually sit in like a public movie theater and watch a movie.
Like,
Actually, the first one I saw was Mortal Kombat, but the movie theater stopped working. Like they had to refund us.
Yeah, because then we saw it.
Yeah,
together.
I mean it was their first time open in like a year.
They're
so,
like, oh, gotta
rethread the film. Yeah.
All right.
I think
let's
you can leave
intro
us
us out. You can find Emma's links in the description below. This is coming out on the 19th, so we're past the tire dance thing. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if you have any other events coming up at the end of the year or the beginning of the year. But
thank you.
You can recruit Emma's efforts in the links below. You know,
Please do.
Shoot her a shout out. You're at this point, you're definitely too late for Christmas, so don't fucking try. Don't even think about it.
But if you have other things, please do.
That aren't time
Don't
constrained
talk
to
as
Christmas.
much when you order something.
It's gonna be a rush job.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost you a lot more to be able to do it. But we're not streaming this on twitch.tv/Delco Network, but we usually stream our podcast there. And you can find our podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. And of course, the video version on youtube.com/Delco Nerd Network. I needed to take a breath there.
It's okay.
It's impressive.
You can find us on Facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network or on Twitter, Threads,
all the socials,
Instagram, TikTok at Delco Nerds. And of course, you can find all this information at DelcoNerdNetwork.com, or you can shoot us an email, give us your thoughts, concerns, things for the good of group, whatever, DelcoNerds@gmail.com. For Trio, for Emma, I'm Gooch. Thanks for watching. Stay nerdy and Merry Christmas.
And if you can like and subscribe, that would be great. Merry Christmas, guys.